And there's some of you here right now under the sound of my voice. Your marriage is not characterized by forgiveness, which means it's characterized by bitterness and unforgiveness. Your relationship with your siblings, not characterized by forgiveness, which means it's characterized by growing resentment and bitterness. Your relationship with your parents, not characterized by forgiveness, which means it's characterized by unforgiveness and bitterness. Your relationship with people in the church, it's either characterized by ongoing piled up forgiveness or by ongoing piled up bitterness. It's one or the other. One of those is a picture of the redemption that you have in Christ, and it is glorious as it is displayed. The other of those makes a mockery of what Jesus did on the cross. My daughter is born. I'm a father. I'm standing there in the delivery room. Bam, there she is. And I'm overwhelmed by a number of things all at the same time. Number one, just y'all please clean her up. Number two, give her to me. Just right now, just give her to me. And I hold my baby girl and I weep. And I'm weeping at that moment because all of a sudden, for the first time in my life, I feel abandoned. The weirdest thing. My father left me, my mother, when I was a baby. I knew my father. I saw my father from time to time. But I was raised by my mother, and it was hard. It was hard for her to raise me. But I never felt abandoned by my father. Probably because last two generations, my wife and I, both sides of our family, 25 marriages, 22 divorces. I never saw anything else. And the projects where I grew up, I can tell you the names of a dozen boys that I played with there in the neighborhood. Not one who had a father living in his home. I didn't know what it looked like for somebody to have a father living in their home. It was foreign to me. So I didn't even have a category for abandonment. It was just normal. But my daughter's born, and I'm holding her in my hands, and I had this overwhelming sense, all of a sudden, there is nothing on God's green earth that could ever make me leave her. So why did he? It's just right then in that moment. It was never more real. And I felt abandoned by my father. How could he do that? I mean, if he ever felt what I feel right now, how could he do that? How could he not be in my life? And then my father was converted. And he started calling me all the time. And my wife says to me one day, that was Pops, wasn't it? I said, yeah, how did you know? She said, because you don't talk to anybody else on the phone like you talk to him. And then she said something to me, it just hadn't dawned on me. She said, it's awesome that you're getting to disciple your father. A couple of years later, I got the phone call that my daddy was dead. And all I can remember is the gratitude that I had that God gave me, the time that he gave me on the phone with my dad. and how grateful I was that he had spared me from what a lot of people experience in that moment. I had the opportunity, but I wanted to make him pay. I wanted to make him feel what he made me feel. So I didn't take his calls. I didn't go see him. I didn't acknowledge birthdays. I didn't send him pictures of the kids. I didn't. Now he's gone and I can't. I was grateful that God had spared me from that. And it was just his grace. Pure and simple. Just his grace. There's some of you, and you're on the other side of that. And your thought is that the opportunity to forgive is gone. But I assure you that it's not. Because right now, right here, today, you can do that. Right here, right now, today, you can look at the cross of Christ and what he has done to forgive you and turn that outward in your relationship with other people, even people who are long gone. You can do that today. Wife, husband, you can do that today. Because of what Christ has done, you can do that today. Son, daughter, you can do that today. Because of the forgiveness that you've received, you can do that today. Brother, sister, you can do that today. Christ has made that a reality for you, not just a possibility for you. It's a reality for you. It's the only reality that makes any sense. Holding on to unforgiveness, holding on to bitterness, that makes no sense for those of us who are redeemed. You can't do that. That's not who we are. It's completely incongruent. But what Christ has made real for you is the opportunity to say that because of what he has done, forgiveness is possible for me. And my prayer for you is that that's what you would do today. You wouldn't just come to church today and then go home. You wouldn't just tick the box today and be done with it. But that today you would embrace the reality of this glorious gospel. And not just what it has done in saving you from the wrath of God, but also what it has done from saving you from the poisonous venom of unforgiveness.